To be clear, there were no travel bans or restrictions announced today. This is just an advisory, but the government says they're in active discussions about current policies.
If you do not have to travel internationally, please do not.
The Canadian government is asking residents to rethink their non-essential international travel plans this holiday season. That includes to the U.S. It's due to a rapid rise in cases of the Omicron variant here and around the world. The advisory is in place for 4 weeks.
Whether we like it or not, we must therefore adjust to this reality.
Omicron has been detected in more than 70 countries. Currently, Canada has barred foreign travelers from 10 of those countries. The government said today it's re-examining that policy.
Traveling Canadians could contract the virus or get stranded abroad. We know that this may sound very drastic to many listening, but we must avoid overloading our hospital system and our healthcare workers.
Infectious disease expert Fiona Smale says this advisory is needed to slow the spread of Omicron.
It seems very infectious. The transmission rate is very high. And so if you have a lot of individuals with infection, that's going to trickle down to those that have more severe infection, perhaps because of their underlying health conditions. And so there will be individuals who will require hospitalization.
In the coming days, the federal government says it will likely put additional measures in place, but hasn't said what.
If it's just for a small period of time to kind of get us back on our feet, that makes total sense to me.
Honestly, I'm hoping we don't go into like another lockdown or something like that, because Toronto being in lockdown for about 6 months, like the longest lockdown in the world, really sucked.
Currently, Canadians who are fully vaccinated don't have to show a PCR test when coming home across the border if they've been gone for 72 hours or less. But something apparently in government discussions requiring a PCR test even if you're returning from a short trip across the border. This man travels once a month for short work trips.
I'm fully vaccinated, so I don't understand the reason why. I mean, there could be a test I can take at home and then submit back. There's a whole lot of anxiety and a whole lot of concern, and there is a cost to it. I mean, some costs are even costlier than my flight costs here to the Canada, right, from the US. The federal government says the goal is to slow the spread of Omicron, but acknowledge that it's already here, and they're urging residents to follow COVID protocols in their communities. And as mentioned, government officials are in active discussions about whether or not to implement more travel restrictions.